Here we go, boys. Welcome to the Showdown Podcast. This week's episode is the Disney Deathmatch live from Indy PopCon at the Indiana Convention Center. In the gray corner, Corey Hakuna Frittata Miller and his movie The Lion King. And in the red corner, Vic, father of the Princess and the Frog Miller, and his movie The Incredibles. I'm your host, Brad Scott. Let's get ready to podcast.
She said turn it up. She said turn it up.
Welcome to the Showdown Podcast. We are live here at Indy PopCon. We usually record live from Corey's kitchen, but Corey, where are we at?
We are at Indy PopCon in the Convention Center.
Yes, and we are actually in the food court of the Convention Center, so we are pretty much in the kitchen of Indy PopCon. We want to thank all of our Showdown fans that showed up. Thousands of Showdown fans came to hear this live episode of the Showdown. We are humbled by your support, and we hope to put on a great show for you today. Give you a little bit of a background. My name is Brad Scott. I'm a stand-up comedian here in Indianapolis. You can see me often at Crackers Comedy Club. I am joined by my co-host, Corey Miller. He is an independent filmmaker. And Vic Miller, he is a professional gamer. Boys, welcome to PopCon.
Yes, glad to be here.
Awesome. Now, if you don't listen to the show, I'm guessing that's most of you. Here's what we do. We take two movies. We put them up against each other. These guys will argue their case, and then I will make a decision on which movie had the better argument. And we do another little thing. We like to give you my history of the movies involved in today's battle. That would be The Lion King, and that would be The Incredibles. Welcome to Brad's History. The Lion King, as most kids from the 90s, was my all-time favorite animated movie in history. I think I consider it to be one of the best Disney movies of all time.
Of course you do.
It is phenomenal.
And Corey will pick it.
The soundtrack, the voice cast, everything was great. I've never seen The Incredibles. All right, let's get to the battle.
That's a great rundown.
It's gonna come down to Vic to actually stick up for his movie and convince me that it's better than one of my all-time favorite. And you got a daunting task.
As always, the black man's got to fight out of the corner.
Absolutely. So we started off with a coin flip. Corey, why don't you make the call?
All right, I'll go heads.
Heads. Siri, flip a coin.
Tails.
It's tails. Vic, are you going to defer, or are you going to get out of the gates and go?
I'm going to defer.
Ooh. Defer, all right.
Ooh, he
Corey,
never defers.
tell us about The Lion King.
Okay, in case you hadn't seen this movie, it starts out with Simba being born, and with the song that we heard at the beginning, and his growth from a young lion into the whole story is from him.
The movie starts out much better than you're explaining it. Is a problem.
It starts out with him being born and then starting to learn a life lesson from his dad, Mufasa. And he...
Voiced by Morgan Freeman. Phenomenal voice.
No, it's actually Darth Vader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
how did they not put the line in the movie then, Simba? I am your father.
I was actually wondering that myself.
There are plenty of memes of that.
So we jump forward a little bit, and as they're looking over the land, his dad tells him, you can't go down there. You can't go into that area because that's like the bad area.
That's the east side of Indianapolis, Simba. You must never go there.
Right.
And everyone that lives on the east side of Indianapolis now hates you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine.
They've turned on you.
Happy to have an opinion.
So, but of course, being a young kid, or in this case, a lion, he doesn't listen and wants to go and find out what's going on. So he ventures over there, and he finds out why he shouldn't be going over there. And that's because there's some hyenas over there. That's where they hang out. That's where
it's him and his play cousin, right?
Yeah, Nala.
Nala, yeah.
His play cousin.
His play cousin.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I got a family tree that doesn't quite make sense.
Was there a racial divide with the hyenas? Were they representative of anything? No? Well, I just thought because Whoopi Goldberg was doing
they had Hispanic, they had white, and they had
they had Cheech was one of the voices, Cheech Marin.
Oh, okay. So it was okay. Good.
Yeah,
Good to see some diversity in Disney. Notice there wasn't a Jewish hyena.
Yeah,
that's Timon.
Who would have thought?
That's Timon.
So anyhow, they end up going over there and they run into the hyenas, and the hyenas chase after them until Mufasa shows up and scares them off.
Like a boss.
Yeah.
Like a boss.
Yeah. So after he scares him off, of course he gets in trouble, but and Simba is a bit upset because he got in trouble. So he's talking to his Uncle Scar. Now.
And I had an uncle just like Scar. Just that dude, you can see he's always getting drunk at the family events and mad at his brother because he should have gotten the opportunities.
Yeah.
So how mad does his parent have to be like, your name's going to be Scar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, did they cut him when he got born and then named him
that? Wasn't his real name. Do you know what his real name was?
He had a different name?
Tony Montana.
He had a real name.
No, what was it?
It was Taka.
Taka.
T-A-K.
Oh, okay.
That was his born name. And
I do like Scar better. Yeah, if you're going to lead a game.
Let me tell you how much you don't know about your movie.
Was that in the book version?
No, what you don't know about your movie is Scar actually has a backstory that he actually tried to eliminate Mufasa once before. And his inapt ability to do so caused him that scar, and he changed his own name to Scar.
So before...
You just got served.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's not actually in the movie. So if that was a deleted scene, that's not my problem.
Well, for a fan of the movie, you think you know more. I'm just saying.
I didn't say I was a fan of the movie. I just picked this one. I think it's better than The Incredibles.
Oh, so you don't even like your movie. That's what's going on.
I never said that.
You just said that. You're like, I didn't even say I like my movie. That's exactly what you just said.
You did
just
say that. You literally did just say I don't like my movie. Is this going to be another weekend of Bernie's? Are you going to argue that The Lion King
It's a drama.
It's a buddy cop movie. It's a buddy cop movie.
I'm going for the sci-fi.
It's an animated Beverly Hills Cop.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so continue.
So anyhow,
he goes to talk to Scar.
Yeah. Prior to talking to Scar,
Scar's also that uncle that gives him his first drink of beer, right? Absolutely.
And
has him smoke.
Gets him a prostitute at some point.
Gets him a little herb on the side. Yeah. Don't tell your mama about this. All right, go ahead.
So before talking to him, Scar actually is talking to the hyenas, and he gets this idea that he should kill Mufasa, because if he kills Mufasa, then he can possibly take over the land. He can be basically the king, the big lion, the big name. So what he does is he hatches this plan by talking Simba into getting Mufasa in this cavern area where he'll end up having a bunch of gazelles or whatever they were stampede over him and kill him.
It was it was more like, what was that? It was like a buffalo of some sort, wasn't it?
It was wildebeest.
Wildebeest, yeah.
Wildebeest.
And you're like completely wrong. I cannot let you do this to this movie. This is such a good movie that you were destroying it. You're completely out of order.
I'm not out of order.
You are.
You're out of order.
You're out of order. You're talking about hyenas before you even went to see the hyenas. You skipped like one of the best songs
whole
in the whole
food court's out of order.
This whole food court's out of order.
One of the best songs in the whole thing where Simba basically describes how he's going to destroy the entire lion pride. That's
a song that everybody forgets about anyway. Everybody only knows like the two songs, like the two big songs, the Hakuna Matata.
Oh, I disagree right there.
I can't wait to be king.
I can't wait to be.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it.
Can you feel the love
tonight? That's the song I'm talking about.
That was my talk as a child, by the way. I didn't get Birds and the Bees from Dad. I got Can You Feel the Love Tonight from Elton John about lions. That's how I found out about the Birds and the Bees. Continue.
So Simba goes down into this ravine, and he realizes that these wildebeests are stampeding. So he tries to get out of the cavern, and then Mufasa swoops in to save him. But at the same time, he actually can't get out and is trampled over. Actually, he's not trampled over until Scar basically sticks his claws into his paws, and he falls in and gets trampled.
Yeah, man. Did you cry?
I didn't cry.
You were in
it
your,
was
like,
one of those,
yeah,
it
He
was-
cried. That dude cried.
You were in your
It
50s.
was one of those.
Yeah.
So I don't know if your tear ducts had dried up yet or not.
It was
But,
one of those
oh,
like choked
man.
up moments. Like, oh my god, really? You're gonna kill
Still can't
Mufasa?
watch it to this day. Still can't. So continue. So Mufasa's dead.
So Mufasa's dead, and then Scar tries to tell Simba, "It's your fault," and so nobody knows. You might want to leave town. So he leaves town.
Instead of just doing the smart thing and killing Simba right there when no one's around, no one can see what's going on, like snap his neck, throw him out with his dad, say he got
Put your
ran
foot
over.
on his throat, yeah.
say he
Eliminate
got
the
ran over by
threat.
the wildebeest
Yeah.
and become king and not have anybody challenge you. But instead he's like, run away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going for king, right?
Yeah,
you're going to have to
there's
kill some
problems.
kids along
Yeah,
the way.
You got to crack a few eggs and
Well,
make an omelet.
like any bad guy in a movie, they always make that one little mistake that was obvious to everybody else.
And then he sends the inept hyenas that couldn't catch him the first time after him to catch him the second time.
Yeah.
Scar makes all kinds of stupid
Yeah.
decisions during this entire
Yeah,
movie.
he's not the smartest. I mean, he's still a
To
rookie.
be fair, he is a lion.
and he's still a rookie at being a bad guy.
I don't know how much battlefield experience he has or Army commando experience he has, but so Simba leaves.
So Simba leaves, and Scar takes over the land. Which by doing so, the land ends up going in a negative direction. Everything starts dying.
Yeah, no,
off.
I was like, is Scar running this place or Mike Pence? I mean, come on now, right?
So anyhow, Simba
I feel the
passes.
crosshairs on you already.
Simba passes out, and he's found by Timon and Pumbaa.
Which, by the way, man, very progressive of Disney. They were the first, but they beat Modern Family to have a gay
Right.
couple as a focal point of
Yeah,
their plot line.
exactly.
Timon and just amazing.
Yeah.
Hats off to them.
So they find him, and they kind of become friends with him, and they basically raise him. And feeding him what they eat. He learns to eat off that, and then as time progresses, Nala runs into him, literally, and then tells him what's been going on.
Which
And
is
so-
even more ridiculous in the course of this whole thing. So he's been gone for like 15 years. They show his progression of him growing up, living with them.
They
eating
never really
bugs.
said it was 15 years.
He was like 5, and he's like almost a full-grown lion. So I'm giving him like 15.
They-
Like he's 15.
lions
How
grow
old was
fast.
Cecil?
Who?
Cecil.
Cecil.
The first, or the next Mufasa. You don't remember Cecil the lion?
No.
Shut. No, really?
No,
Neither
no.
of you?
No.
Do I have to give it to myself?
Yeah.
Have at it.
Yeah.
You don't remember Cecil the lion that got
No,
murdered?
not
Okay.
at all.
No. So
Some time
But
has
anyway,
passed.
my point was that like she shows up, she's hunting for the pride because they're all hungry because
Well-
basically Scar has like destroyed the Pride Lands.
Which is honestly, though, not factually correct. The lionesses do the hunting
Correct.
for lions.
Correct. But she's doing the hunting, right? She goes after the pig, and just because Simba's like, no, don't eat him, she doesn't eat him, so everybody goes hungry. Like, I'm thinking
But she
if I started,
recognized
I
him,
would've
right?
eaten
She
his
knew it
ass.
was Simba.
I guess.
Yeah,
After 15 years.
Old flames burn long, Vic. Old flames burn long. So
When you're from the same family tree, it's not hard.
I don't think they're
Considering,
from the
uh,
same family tree.
There was
though.
only 2 lions in that entire pride, two male lions in that entire pride, right?
That
And
you
Disney
saw.
Disney prides themselves on the fact that they went hard on the traditional, real things that lions do. Which in a
except
lion
for having
pride-
the male lion hunt.
which in a lion pride, only the king actually mates with the females, which means Nala's his sister.
Oh, this is so Star Wars. She is Leia. All right, let's hear more.
We did have Darth Vader in it, so it all makes sense. So anyhow, he doesn't really want to go back because he figures just doesn't want to because he knows he's the cause of what happened.
Simba's kind of like LeBron.
He shirked his responsibility.
You know, like he left Cleveland, went to hang out with Timon and Pumbaa, a.k.a. Bosch and Wade. And then everybody's like, no, you got to go back. Cleveland's falling apart.
Why does this always go back to the Heat?
Because they're so good. Go ahead. Sorry, my apologies.
Okay, so anyhow, the baboon that we saw in the beginning of the movie,
Rafiki.
Rafiki.
That's the Corey of the movie, by the way. I figured that out. That's it. He's the Rafiki.
I was thinking more like Pumbaa, considering the gas situation.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Continue.
Whatever. So anyway,
You're gassy and you're old, Corey. That's what we were saying. Go ahead.
Okay, got it now. Thank you.
And we like to call you Mr. Pig.
So anyhow, he sees in his little drawings that Simba is still alive. So he's got hope that the land can come back together and be like it once was. So he sets out to find him at the same time that Nala has already found him and trying to convince him to come back. He ends up running into him finally and convinces him. He shows him a vision in the sky of Mufasa, and he realizes, I got to go back. I got to fix this.
So he gives him an acid trip.
Yeah, basically.
He sees his dad.
So they end up going back, all of them.
Wait, is that the part where he flops down on the? Okay.
No, that's a little bit before.
Okay.
And I know what you're getting at. So they all go back and they realize they come up with a plan of how they're going to sidetrack the hyenas who are basically protecting their way in. So Timon and Pumbaa they dress up in hula skirts and do a little dance, and while everybody else goes around the backside, and Simba finds his mom.
Now, mind you, there's legions upon legions of hyenas. When they run those hyenas off, they run off like 5 of them. Like 5 of them chase after him. Where are the rest of all those hyenas? Because when Scar was doing his song, there was like just
like the whole cave of them.
Yeah.
There was a deleted scene that showed all of them leaving.
Oh, that's your defense.
Exactly. Thank you. So anyhow, Simba finds his mom and talks to her and says, we got a plan, and he ends up battling Scar, because Scar comes in and they end up battling, and he ends up admitting that he killed Mufasa. So everybody's ready to gank up on Scar now and take him out and make sure that he gets taken out, which he ends up getting taken out. The hyenas, during the fight, he makes a comment about the hyenas saying, I forget the exact wording, but basically saying that they were just pawns in his whole thing. So they get mad and they all go after him, and then the land starts to come back to normal. Now, the one thing that's underlining about the whole film is basically it's Hamlet, the play Hamlet by Shakespeare, put in Disney form
for the dead dad.
Yeah, so it's Hamlet, and played out as lions instead of actual people. Like we said, there's some great songs in the movie that everybody knows. We've actually talked about a couple of them. Hakuna Matata being one, Circle of Life, and I believe it's a Grammy Award-winning soundtrack as well. And we did mention that there are. What was that about?
You literally were like, "Oh, it's such a great soundtrack. We've talked about it," and then you listed 2 songs.
Well, I didn't write them all down.
But then
I don't know the names of them.
10 minutes ago, we named
literally
off like
just
6.
We've been talking
you gave us
about
2.
them
Okay,
the whole
sorry.
time.
Go ahead.
Fine then.
It is a Grammy. I think it did win some Grammys.
Yes, and then the voice acting. You had a lot of big name people. You had Matthew Broderick in there.
Billy D. Williams as Mufasa.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas was young Simba.
That was when he was the balls.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's when, they hadn't dropped yet, but he was the biggest thing in pop culture and entertainment.
But where is he now?
I think he might be in rehab.
I don't know. He might be here.
We never know.
He's signing in booth.
Signing hammers and
and then
Wilson's next to him, but Wilson is behind a curtain, so you can only see his eyes.
Like we said, we had Whoopi Goldberg,
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane was another one too. James Earl Jones.
Again, just kind of gives more credence to Timon and Pumbaa.
Yes, exactly.
A little more than Hakuna Matata going on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. The movie did spawn 2 sequels, as well as a Broadway stage play, which has been traveling around.
I would have jumped right to the stage play.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have mentioned the 2 sequels actually hurt your argument.
Well, I did
it's
mention
chipped away at the lead you had
straight
created.
to DVD.
But I did just gloss over.
You can't, those movies you can't take serious once they're not in theaters, because it's like, oh, Lion King 7, Zazu's Revenge, like it just gets
white
old.
Zazu?
That's what the white
His evil
Zazu.
clone?
Show him your white Zazu.
Okay, hold on.
So one of the running gags on the Showdown podcast is Corey is a racist, but has never said a racist thing in his entire life. So, of course, when he got the Zazu bird, he had to make sure he got the all-white Zazu bird.
And then fought me for about 10 minutes that was the correct color of Zazu.
Well, his argument wasn't that Zazu was white. His argument was Zazu should have been white.
Oh,
that's
what it was. I missed that.
Let's just set it there.
I'll just set it right there.
I completely missed that as the argument.
Uh-oh, Corey, you got 2 minutes.
Oh, so anyhow, okay, this is fun. So anyhow, everybody loves this movie. Everybody's seen this movie, and probably is considered one of Disney's greatest current animated films. I mean, when you look at their whole
current.
Yes, I did say current.
How old the movie is?
Huh?
Do you remember how old the movie is?
I think it came out in '95.
And what year is it?
Well, it's still
Do
current.
you know how many Disney
when I
movies
say
have come out
current,
since then?
when I say current, I don't mean like the '50s animated films, like the '50s, like the old
sheer
Peter
number
Pan.
of Disney movies that have come out since this movie.
Yeah, but this is still one of their greatest ones. And
that you can say, but not
yes,
current.
compared to Incredibles, it was a much better watch.
That's it.
That's it.
To your corner.
I can't.
To your corner.
I can't hear it, so I'm gonna take your word for it.
All right. Vic, let's hear about The Incredibles.
And please don't bore me like this movie did.
You didn't even like your movie. I don't know what you're talking about. So The Incredibles is basically a story about a society of people who know that there are superheroes amongst them, and the superheroes spend a lot of time saving the people from injustice and the bad guys, until at one point, Mr. Incredible, who's our main character, played by Craig T. Nelson, saves a couple people. Coach, exactly. Saves a couple people.
They were really reaching for that cast, too.
How do you figure?
Let's get Craig T. Nelson. He hasn't done anything since Coach.
Actually, he did a number of movies.
A number of movies?
Movies we've had on our show. You're going to insult our shows. He was in Poltergeist.
That was before this.
Doesn't matter. He's still a great
I'm talking
actor.
about since Coach. He hadn't
you
done
tell me
anything.
you didn't watch Coach?
Oh, I watched Coach, but he
Okay.
hadn't done anything between
Shush.
Coach and Incredibles.
So, Craig T. Nelson
He had an
plays
open
Mr.
schedule.
Incredible, and he is a superhero, superhuman strength, nigh invulnerable, saves a bunch of people from, one guy was going to commit suicide. He jumps over a building, saves him, puts him, basically breaks his neck, and the guy sues him and then starts a landslide of litigation against him that says they're a menace, he's a menace. They start suing the government because the government handles the supers. So they put them all in witness protection and tell them that they can no longer be supers. They just have to be normal, average, everyday people, which, as you know, is not going to be easy to do. And that'd be like someone telling you can't be a comic anymore. You're not allowed to say anything funny
Plenty
ever
of
again.
people have told me I can't be a comic
Have you been
anymore.
able to do it?
Yeah, in spite of them. Go ahead.
Well, there you go. So you still continue to do it, and so did Mr. Incredible. He spent a number of years. He got married. He started a family. He has 3 kids. He has Violet. He has Dash and Jack, who are each, 2 of them are they already know what their superpowers are. Violet can turn invisible and create invisible shields. Dash can run super fast. But Jack seems to be just a normal human baby throughout the movie.
They were really
The
stretching.
Cooper Manning of the bunch, right?
They were really stretching for the superpowers. Let's see, which ones can we steal from Marvel or DC?
And how many superpowers do you know of that don't already exist in any kind of way? Name something completely original.
Well, if I just made up something, then
I don't want to hear it
Yeah,
from you.
no. Make up a
I could-
superpower.
okay.
Come on.
I don't want to hear anything from you when your movie was stolen from a Japanese anime. So
It's
let's talk about that. Anyway, back to my movie.
But that was called The Ryan King. Come on. No, I still want to hear Corey's superpower.
Kimba the White Lion is all I have to say to you.
I'll tell you Corey's superpower. He's able to disengage an entire audience in a matter of 15 minutes. All right, Vic, go ahead.
So he tries to live a normal life. He comes to the point where he's just bored. He doesn't like his job. He wants to get out of that. He's just trying to figure out something to do. Through the course of at the beginning of the movie, he is also kind of stalked by this kid who named himself Incrediboy. He's his biggest fan. He's the head of his fan club, and he wants to be his sidekick. And he's like, I work alone. I don't want a sidekick. He boots him out of his car, and he basically loses touch with this guy who decides that he's going to make his own lot in life because he's just a human. He has no superpowers. He just wants to be involved. So he moves off. They start their family. He eventually works into the point where him and Frozone, who is his best friend, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Again, another reason why I picked this movie.
Samuel L. Jackson.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Plays
Yeah,
Frozone.
yeah, who is in all of about 4 scenes through this entire movie.
What does it matter?
Come on, you're going to get Samuel L. Jackson. He needs to be in this entire movie.
If the movie's not about him. The movie's about the
It doesn't matter.
Of these mother bleeping superheroes on this mother bleeping plane.
So they go out on Wednesday nights to bowl, as far as his wife thinks. And when they go out, they're actually listening to the scanner, trying to stop crimes. So they're still kind of doing their super thing, but behind lines and not letting people know they're doing it. So they wear ski masks. And whenever something happens, they go and save people. So they go to a burning building, and they save these people. Bust through the wall, which is actually a bank. The cops bust in and basically hold them up and tell them to freeze. And because Frozone freezes the molecules of water in the air, he can't do anything because he was just on fire. So the cops tell him to freeze. This is actually a really funny scene. He reaches over, grabs a cup of water. The cop's like, freeze, freeze. And he's like, I'm just getting a sip of water. Takes a sip of water, and he freezes the cop, which in today's climate, he would have been shot as soon as he reached for the water. So
I don't know. He was white, right?
No, Frozone's black.
Yeah. Never would have gotten to that water.
Never would have gotten to that water. So he freezes the cop. They take off, and they're hiding out. And there is a chick in the wings watching all this go down. Her name's Mirage, and she works for the big bad of the movie. And he's trying to get all of the supers to help him develop this super robot that can destroy the Earth and destroy mankind. So he has her recruit him. She starts giving him jobs to do and really making him like happy that he's behind the scenes doing what supers do, which is saving people from the bad guys and helping them out. But his wife notices that there's something going on, and she thinks he's cheating on him. So she picks up the phone, and she hears him talking to Mirage. And he's like, well, I'm going. She doesn't know he's lost his job. So she tells him that he's going onto a convention for work. And she's like, yeah, okay. So he takes off to the island, and he is testing this robot. And basically everything he does is how the guy figures out whether or not the robot can handle a superhero. Because he doesn't want superheroes to stop him. What his actual plan is to set loose this robot, and as a human with technological advanced gear, a la whatever, he's going to stop the robot, become the hero of the day, and then sell all of his gear to normal people so everyone in the world can be super. That way supers are inconsequential since they hurt his feelings when he was a kid. So the story goes on along that lines. He gets him to do a bunch of work for him. He eventually captures him, and because he wasn't able to kill him, which is what he's been doing. He's been having the supers come to him, test the robot. The robot kills the supers, or they defeat the robot. He upgrades the robot kills the supers, and he's been offing all of the superheroes, so there's no one left to save humanity but him. So it's a pretty in-depth plan. Once he gets past that point, his wife, Incredible, who is actually she's got like Stretch Armstrong abilities, so she can like extend her.
I thought she was Elastigirl or something like that. You called her Incredigirl.
Because she's Mrs. Incredible, honestly, because when they merchandise her, they couldn't use Incredible because that's a DC marketing. So, anyway, Elastigirl. So she figures out that he's not where he's supposed to be. So she activates a tracking device that's on his new suit.
We've all been there, right, fellas? The ladies and their tracking devices, and they're extending out rubbery arms.
A little bit of Life 360 action going on. So she follows him to the island where he's been captured. And through the course of that, he believes that they get killed. One of the things about this movie is that it is PG, and they are super heavy into the violence in this thing. Like people get killed. Like he makes them think that his family just got blown up.
Disney loves to do that, especially with parents. Every Disney movie has parents getting murdered or dying in an accident in the first opening sequence.
Right.
I'm like, who do you think's bringing my kid to the movie? Disney? Can I get one parent that makes it to the end?
Well, luckily for you, both parents make it at the end of this one.
Oh, okay.
So it's not so bad. So he believes that they've been killed. They get hit by rockets on their plane. Their plane goes down. He thinks they're dead. He basically goes aggro and decides he's going to try to kill Mirage to get Syndrome, who's the big bad, to played by Jason Lee, by the way, to relent. And he's like, go ahead, kill her. I don't care. I don't need her anymore anyway. I already got you. So he lets her go. And meanwhile, the rest of the family gets to the island. They try to figure out what's going on. The mom tells the kids to stay put. She heads out to try to find the dad. The kids end up getting into trouble, as kids will do. They get chased down by the security guards, which is where they really kind of come into their powers, kind of really realize what they can do. Is they've also been stifling themselves the whole time. The daughter keeps herself in like a real tight shell, and the kid is just pissed off because he's not allowed to. He's mad because he's not allowed to really use his abilities. So they run around and end up destroying the island, killing off half of the bad guys that are on the island, running them in the walls, just basically beating the crap out of them. Mom finds them, helps them end the last couple that are chasing them, and then they find the dad. The dad realizes that it's one of those moments where it's like, oh, well, I didn't realize what I had till it was gone kind of situations. And once he realizes that, he's like, okay, we're going to stay together. We're going to work together. We're going to stop him from doing this. And he's launched the killer ball robot to their city, which is destroying. They fly out to stop it. They get there and basically do everything that they can. The only thing they realize that they can do to actually stop him from destroying the planet is to get a hold of the bracelet that he's using to control the robot, that Syndrome's using to control the robot, which that idiot right at the beginning of the attack gets knocked out, and the robot goes sentient, pulls a Skynet, shoots the thing off of his wrist, and realizes, like, I'm not going to let you stop me. So they get the bracelet. They end up getting control of the robot. Not before they screw up and they like eject its arms or do all kinds of stuff to cause more problems. They launch the robot's claw at itself. It destroys the robot. They win the day. Syndrome disappears. They find out that he once they've like given everybody their dues, they're like, okay, you guys are great, good job, blah blah blah. The government's talking about letting them back into their into being superheroes, and they're heading back home to kind of this be together, and they're calling the babysitter who was left with Jack, and she's increasingly freaking out because the whole time that Jack's been there, he's been like doing crap to this babysitter, and you just keep hearing her screaming. She's like, I need help. When are you guys going to be back? You left me with this kid. He's being really weird. I don't understand what's going on. So she's freaking out. And the last thing is like, oh, thanks for sending the replacement babysitter for me. It really helped out. And that's when they realize that Syndrome has Jack. So Syndrome takes Jack. He tries to fly off with him. He wants to turn him into his sidekick, train him to be evil to destroy his family, that old turning him to the dark side thing. Jack realizes his powers, which he's a shapeshifter. He goes through a number of different incarnations of himself. He turns into a steel baby. He turns into a demon. He lights himself on fire. He freaks out. He throws a car at him. Mr. Incredible throws a car at Syndrome.
If I could be a shapeshifter, I would just be Rob Lowe. All the time. That man is amazing.
Not Robert Downey Jr.?
No, Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe.
You forget he loves Rob Lowe.
That voice, man. Shark Week.
Speaking of Shark Week. So he throws his car at him, at Syndrome, which hits the plane. The plane starts to crash. Syndrome gets caught. His cape, which throughout the entire movie, they keep talking about how capes are a bad idea for superheroes because they cause problems. And they've shown like how capes have killed other superheroes. So he's like flipping out. He's getting ready to slide off of the thing, which if he hadn't a cape, the propeller in the thruster in the airplane sucks him in, and supposedly, as far as we know, he dies. And the family
this was Sinestro?
Syndrome.
Syndrome.
Did you say Sinister Urge?
Huh?
Did he say Sinister Urge?
No.
You got 2 minutes, Vic.
So the family basically comes together. They decided they're going to let themselves survive and be supers. They let Dash run a race for the school. He starts running. He's still going really slow. They're like, no, speed up. He starts going too fast. And he's like, no, slow down. They're like, come in second. Just come in second. So he comes in second place, wins a medal. Everyone's happy. And at the end of the movie, the mole men come out from under the ground and said, we've been here the whole time. We've been living underneath of you. Now we're going to come and conquer you. We're going to be above you. And that's how the movie ends.
And I was happy that those credits started rolling. Seriously, that movie was... For a movie that's about superheroes, it had very little superhero battles. Now, I was excited to see Let me finish.
Very little superhero battles.
Yes. I was glad to see...
Let me count the ways.
It's a 2-hour movie.
Hold
on.
You want
Hold on.
superhero battles?
Yes. Seeing the battle there towards the end.
Have you seen Batman versus Superman? I don't know if you necessarily want.
Well, that had
superhero battles.
Yeah, I know. Well, that had even less. But when you got a 2-hour movie, that battle at the end when they're all fighting, when Samuel L. Jackson's character comes in, when the kids are all fighting the robot, when Mr. Incredible is fighting, that was great to see.
And
but there was hardly any of
when
that.
they were all fighting against Syndrome's men.
Yes, it was boring.
That wasn't a battle.
No, it was a battle, but it was boring. I was bored. I was falling asleep during this movie.
So the kid figures out he can run on water. He crashes everybody into things. The daughter ends up making herself. She makes a force field, and around her and the little brother. Right. The little brother's like, "Oh crap, this is fun." He used her like a hamster ball. He's like, "Don't let it go." He just starts running in the ball, like it starts rolling. He starts going through the jungle, like just destroying everything with it, like along the way. I don't know how you don't find any of this entertaining.
Yeah, it was just. I just thought the fights were lackluster, just not fun, just not as fun as it could have been. You got a superhero movie, and 2 hours of that movie, there was maybe.
It's not a superhero movie though.
It's got superheroes in it.
It's a movie
it should have more than 10 minutes of fighting.
It's a movie about superheroes that have been told they cannot use their superpowers.
Ha, X-Men. Ha, Winter Soldier, or not Winter Soldier, but Civil War.
What's the point? This is a cartoon.
It's the same. It's the same thing.
Show.
If we're going to focus on that, those movies did that better. You're killing me, Smalls.
It's commercial time. All right, Corey, running for all of you out in the audience, the thousands of Showdown fans. We usually do commercials where we give you our social media information so you can follow along, and I always cut Corey off and make him go last, and I trick him. It's like Lucy with a football. But we're in front of a live crowd, Corey. It's a special episode. It's PopCon. There's no way I would do that to you in front of thousands of Showdown fans. So, Corey, go ahead and give them your social media.
All right. You can find me.
You're so dumb. Vic, go ahead.
You can find me online at MillerKing51 on social media. You can also find me on Xbox One as Black and Angry. That's BLQ and Angry. Also, if you guys are interested, I do run the largest arcade in the Indianapolis area. You're all welcome to come over and check it out. We are holding, if you come and see me at some time tomorrow, you can sign up to win unlimited laser tag from 5 till 9 o'clock, which is right after the convention hall closes. Until we close at 11 o'clock, you can play as much as you want. Just come and see me, and you'll be entered to win. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Anywhere at the convention, just come find us.
No, that's at Tilt Studio, ladies and gentlemen.
In the Circle Center Mall, 4th floor, right above the food court.
All right. Now, Corey, it wouldn't be nearly as funny if I did it to you again. So, again, we are big special episode. Go ahead.
All right. You can find me
You are so dumb. God. All right. You can find me at BradScottComedy.com. You can follow me on social media at BradScottComedy. And click like on Facebook, Comedian Brad Scott. All right, Corey. Again, 3. That'd be so stupid. Go ahead. Just get it out. Hurry up.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. You can find me on...
Oh, God, we forgot about talking about the show. You can find the show at The Showdown Pod on Twitter, at The Showdown Pod on Instagram, and click like on The Showdown Podcast on Facebook. Somebody should. All right, Corey, go ahead.
For real?
As real as it gets.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at NKOGonzo and also on Letterboxd.
All right, let's get back to the show. All right, we are back, and we have made a decision as to who is going to win this battle.
Who's we?
We meaning we're going to give the audience a vote. The audience, thousands of our Showdown fans and listeners, have been just sitting here with bated breath. They've been hanging on every word. There's been oohs, there's been ahs, there's been loser game show sounds, there's been Mario deaths, a couple of coins, and even a Zelda sound or two. So we're going to go to our
Cosmic Key.
And we forgot the Cosmic Key. It might make an appearance. You never know.
I did it already.
So We're going to give you guys, all thousands of you, a chance to vote. We're going to use an applause-o-meter. So by a round of applause, who thought Corey got the win? I'm pretty sure that person doesn't know why they're clapping. Who thought Vic got the win with The Incredibles? You got to boo, Vic. So the audience has spoken. We are humbled by all the support. We really appreciate it. Corey gets the audience vote.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he gets the win. It still comes down to me. I can make it a split decision.
This is where I get nervous.
You get nervous.
So let's
because we've seen it go wrong so many times.
We have. And let's look at what we had here. Corey chose one of my all-time favorite animated movies. Vic chose a movie I'd never seen before. And I'd been really diligent about you guys being prepared for this live show, making sure you both had watched both movies so you had good notes so you could argue back and forth. And then I did not watch your movie. At all. It wasn't an opera. It's 2 hours. It's a long time.
You could have started it.
Yeah, I could have. You know what? I got to give the decision to Corey. It's unanimous. Woo! You didn't win me over, Vic. You gave me too much of the plot, and you didn't tell me why. You didn't give me the awards. I didn't hear anything about lists. This guy told me a little bit more. And I wanted it to be unanimous. That's a little bit more of that, too.
Always.
Yeah. You know how it goes, though, Vic.
Yeah,
Those are the breaks.
Keep the black man down.
So we have a few minutes here. What are some of your guys, outside of the two we chose today, what are some of your guys' favorite all-time animated movies? You can go...
Well, we already know Lion King's not his, so...
Yeah, that's true, yeah. No. You could go adult animated, you could go kids. What do we got?
For me, my number one top animated movie is the original Transformers animated movie.
I agree. That's definitely, if not my number one.
Is that the one
really
where
close.
Optimus Prime dies?
It is. Mm-hmm. Spoilers.
Yeah, it is a very hardcore, just rough.
Yeah. I don't know if it necessarily holds up today because there are some. I've watched it in the last few years.
That sounds like a challenge, honestly. That sounds like that means we need to.
Maybe
to
that'll
watch
be a
it.
Survivor series.
Maybe it will. But yeah, there's some little things here and there that are kind of odd watching now. But yeah, it's definitely in my top 5.
I think my favorite all-time animated movie is South Park: Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I remember exactly where I was when I saw it the first time. I was in high school. And I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And it still holds up. My daughter loves it.
How old's your daughter?
She's 9. She will be 9. It's a good movie. You know what? They got to grow up at some point. And
it doesn't make
this is her White Men Can't Jump.
It doesn't make me feel so bad when that came out. We actually took my nephew to see it, and he was probably in, I don't know if he was in middle school yet when we took him. So, and as we're watching it, we're going, oh, we probably shouldn't have done that.
Was it the Uncle song? 'Cause
yeah.
We got the soundtrack, too.
Yeah.
And she loves that song. But, yeah, I mean, when you were a kid.
Do you allow her to sing it at home?
Oh, yeah. At home.
At home, of course.
What about when you were a kid? What was your favorite?
When I was a kid, oh, man, I can't even. I mean, that was back in the 30s.
Yeah,
so,
30s.
Yeah.
Vic?
It was Steamboat Willie for him. I used to really enjoy the old Saturday morning cartoons, the Herculoids.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
I'm a lot younger than you.
Yeah, you're younger than me. But they have the Herculoids, and they had Space Ghost and all those.
I liked Space Ghost when he became a talk show host.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's where he got
that
his start.
was funny.
that was great.
That was really funny. And I remember just being a kid, Saturday morning cartoons, they're not like they used to be anymore. I mean, when you were a kid, you woke up, you had, a few options for channels, and you got yourself a big bowl of cereal. You sat down with your toys, and you played Thundercats, G.I. Joe, even a little bit, when I got a little bit older, X-Men. I remember the X-Men. That was one of my favorite cartoons.
The old GoBots.
Well, I think Cartoon Network kind of killed Saturday morning cartoons. When you've got it on 24/7.
And Netflix shoveled the dirt on top of the casket.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
And Hulu.
That and the great like the little like the little vignettes that they did between the cartoons.
Oh, yeah. Well, after these messages.
We'll be right back.
I really thought one of our thousand. There it is. That guy over there got it. He's one of the thousands of showdowners.
There you go.
One of
Our fans love us so much they have showdown syndrome.
one of my favorite animated films has to be Heavy Metal as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like the South Park parody of that.
I didn't see that
Oh,
one.
Kenny
Heavy
gets
Metal?
addicted. Yeah, Kenny gets addicted to catnip.
Yeah, I didn't see
Or no,
that
cat
one.
pee. Excuse me, cat urine. So Vic, what was your favorite of the Saturday morning?
Saturday morning for me, like I was a huge G.I. Joe fan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Big time G.I. Joe fan. That was probably my
Was that on
second-
Saturday mornings though?
Yeah,
I thought-
yeah.
it was
Sergeant
like
Slaughter
every
used
day
to
of the
do
week.
Sergeant Slaughter used to do like the opening or the
Yep.
closing of it. I remember.
I was
right
thinking
before
it
the
was during the
Nintendo
day.
Power Hour.
Oh, the Nintendo, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show is one of the most underrated cartoons ever.
Absolutely.
Captain Lou Albano was a better Mario than Bob Hoskins,
Right.
and I'll go on record saying it.
I'll actually agree with that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to the Showdown Podcast. Thank you to the thousands of Showdown Podcast fans that came out to support us here at PopCon. We couldn't do it without your support, and we'll talk to you next time.